What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rico, aka RockStarrFX here. In today's video, we got a special guest. Big Anderton gang, you dig? So in this video, we're going to be doing another live trading session review where we go back and we kind of just outlook, giving you guys the mentality, what it is that I'm looking for in the markets, and some lessons that we can learn along the way. You guys always enjoy these videos, and I definitely enjoy making them. I think when it comes to really providing the value in teaching online or on YouTube, things like this, I mean, it just takes it to a whole nother level to be able to look at these trades and review both the wins and the losses, review what we've done, what we could have done better. So super positive. We did just about $2,000 today, which for some people should be a lot of money. What do you think? Is that $2,000 in a day? Is that a lot of money?
A lot.
A lot. What about $2,000 in about 30 minutes?
Incredible. So
let's get to it. All right, so at this point, we still are kind of juggling between US 30 and NASDAQ. As you guys seen, I started trading indices. So I moved on over to the dark side, trading indices. And I'll be honest, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. We did just about $2,000 today. We're going to be breaking this thing down because I think this was a pretty fire trade session. And you're going to see some of the things that I've done here that I learned along the way as well, because to me, this is still new. Like, you got to remember, I started trading back in 2015. So we're talking years versus 2 months. I'm still a newbie to this, right? So even though we are making good money and we are pretty consistent with our wins and our profits, there's still things that I'm testing out and I'm learning to kind of get better at, and learning to, you know, kind of adjust and do that kind of thing. Before the markets even open, we got that break of the trend line, which is a part of my strategy where I don't enter a trade unless it breaks the trend line and support or resistance. Now, the issue with this trade, and this is why we did not take the US 30 position, is because it had already broke the trend. And this was way before the market even opened. Even though I'm plotting it up right now, I'm looking for potential sells because, as you guys can see, it broke the trend. That big candle came back and wicked it, retest the bottom of the trend, and it continued down. So like, a sell position wouldn't be bad on US 30, but it's not what I'm looking for in the market. Now, if we fast forward a little bit more in the video, you guys can see here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So most people would have entered this trade, and look at this, like, you know, it comes down to that level that, by the way, we already had plotted that potential resistance level, but it literally comes exactly down to the resistance level, bounces all the way, makes its way back up. And depending on when you would have gotten into this trade, you would have either been in some pretty heavy drawdown, or you could have been stopped out by now, depending on what your stop loss is as a scalper. So this is more or less why you'll see me start to come back to NASDAQ. And even though there really isn't a real potential setup going on for NAS right now, we haven't broken the trend. So like, there's always that potential to kind of be able to break the trend. You guys see right here, it's 9:35. So if you're looking at the bottom right corner, it's 9:35 a.m. Still no trend being broken. Not even close to it, which is kind of also why we didn't really pay too much attention to NASDAQ during this session. We are more focused on US 30 because in my mind, I'm like, all right, maybe there's a possibility for a good entry, even though we broke that trend probably like an hour, 2 hours ago. I know there are some, you know, traders that do trade like that, where it's like you get the break, the retest, and then you look for the entry. I like to just enter on the break as a whole. So wherever I can get that break, that is typically where I'm entering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. If I can get an entry right there, that is typically where I go ahead and I enter the trade. So you guys see, as soon as we marked up the fibs, we were past that level. So I went ahead and I entered, and I'm currently down between 50 to 100 bucks. Technically an okay start. So we're officially in. You guys see this baby is moving. I'm going to go ahead and start marking up my potentials for the 1-to-1. So I always started, you know, doing that. It's the first thing I do is I mark my parameters, because I want to make sure that I set my stop loss on the actual trade before anything. We know how volatile indices are, and the worst thing, you know, that could happen is it's like I'm in the middle of fixing my charts or checking something out, and that baby just shoots up and blows way past where we want it to in terms of a loss. So just marking it up and doing what I got to do. You guys see here, it's only been about 2 minutes, and we're already up close to $300. So market's fluctuating right now, and this is where, again, I like to put, I don't really use take profits. I always put a stop loss, but I do not put take profits. What I do instead is I go ahead and I put alerts on the chart. What those alerts do is they get sent straight to my phone. Because I have TradingView on my phone, I always get the alerts on my phone. Typically, I'll set up the trade and I'll walk away. So a lot of the times I'm here in my office and I'm trading, and there's a bunch of things to be done in the morning. It's very busy. So I'll set this up for a couple minutes. and then I'll go leave and wait for these alerts to come in to let me know exactly where the markets are. So we got a small retracement back to the entry, nothing too crazy, only a couple of pips drawdown, if that. It might even just be a couple of points drawdown, but this was a late entry as well. So if you're paying attention and you're looking here, although we did get some drawdown, if I would have got in at my actual entry point, which is that line right there, the yellow line for the golden zone, we would have still been good. We would have had 0 drawdown on this trade, and it would have came back and it would have retested kind of close to the entry point, but it wouldn't have really gotten there. So still would have been a phenomenal trade, and we're still looking great on this. So now we're starting to see this bad boy move. We have only been into this trade probably for a little less than 10 minutes now, and it's looking great. No over leveraging, no over trading, none of that stuff. This is just pure building up the account. This was a $500 account, by the way. So to be able to take a $500 account and bring it to the point where you're having close to $2,000 days without over leveraging, I think we're doing pretty great. So we officially have hit target 2. So we're already past a 1-to-1. We're already past a 1-to-1.5, and we're making our way down to a 1-to-2, right? Yeah, 1-to-2 ratio. So you're gonna see me here. I put my stops in profit. All right. So at 1-to-2, I always put my stops in profit, make it a completely risk-free trade, and we're gonna ride this baby down. Once I hit that 1-to-2 mark, which is target 3, boom. What I then like to do is I like to trail my stops. So now we just taking, like you guys think, I think this was about 4,000 in this account. Taking this $4,000 account, we had a $1,000 day. So the goal is we're gonna tap on over to the 1-minute chart, and I'm gonna trail my stops on the 1 minute. So for every one candle that goes by, I'm gonna trail my stops another candle down. Depending on how big the candlesticks are, between 2 to 4 candles is where I trail my stops at, and I just ride it down, ride it down, ride it down. And we have a great time doing that. So buddy, right, do you have any idea what's going on in the charts right now?
No, not really. I see the money is going higher.
And as the money is going higher, what's happening here?
The market is going down.
It's going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh. So if we are in a buy position and we bought in the markets, which way do we want the markets to go?
We want the market to go up.
You want it to go up?
Uh-huh.
If you buy it, right?
Uh-huh.
And if we're selling it, it's because we want the markets to go where?
We want the market to go down.
Down. All right? Pretty simple concept. By the way, guys, we are both absolutely going through it right now. So even though we're on this video, right, and we're doing what we got to do, we're both going through it. Unfortunately, my son has inherited my horrible allergies, and we're in allergy season right now. Our eyes are freaking red, our faces are swollen and puffy, and we look wild. We look like we was taking thumbnail photos, and he said we look like what did we look like when we looked at the photos?
We look like zombies.
But as you guys can see, we're still running this trade up right now. We're trailing our stops. We're currently up 17 hundo, and the market is kind of making its way up a little bit, but we still rocking and rolling. We are still rocking and rolling. I come back to the actual charts here on TradingView just to see exactly where, if we should be looking to get out, or if we can ride this thing down a little bit more. And what I noticed was, if you look on the bottom, our stochastic has not crossed up yet. So in my mind, this baby still got room to go. And I kind of already anticipated that bounce, the quick pullback, because we had a resistance plotted here already from a previous trade a long time ago. This is why it's kind of good to keep your markups on. So I anticipated that. That's what I was showing you guys with my cursor just now as I circled that resistance area. It's because we already knew, right? But again, the stochastic hasn't crossed up yet. So I'm not panicking. We're still up right now. Things are looking beautifully great. And we've already also taken partial profits out of this trade too, a little bit towards the beginning. We're up over 2K right now, 2,300 to be exact. Markets are still dropping. We're still trailing our stops. Things are looking beautiful. All right. So, at this point, I probably should have taken profit. It's one of those things where, I don't think I'm at the mentality yet where I understand that sometimes I should just get out of the trade. I'm up almost $3,000 on a $4,600 account, which is crazy. You would think at 3K I would probably jump out, but I like to just stick to my rules, because what you don't want to do is, as well, it's like when you stick to your rules, it creates a better mentality, right? What I mean by that is, it's like if I would have hopped out this trade at $3,000, breaking my rules of just trailing it between 2 to 4 candlesticks, and it continued to drop down all the way to like 5, 10, 15,000, then I would be looking at that, and you guys can relate. I don't care what any professional or any expert says. You guys will relate, and you'll be looking at the chart like, damn, I should have held that trade. I should have held that trade. That's what you be saying. So I just stick to my rules, because then at least, like right now, we are getting that pullback, and I should have gotten out closer to 3,000. That's what some people would say. But we're getting the pullback, and at least I can go in with the mentality of saying we already took partials, we trailed our stops, we stuck to our strategy, and even as it pulled back, I didn't make the 3,000, but I did exactly what I was supposed to do anyway, and I stuck to my trading plan. And that's a whole different mindset, a whole different mentality. That's called discipline. What's that called?
Discipline.
Discipline. Yep, 2,300 right now. So as you guys can see, we got some indecision in the market. Again, another confirmation to get out of this trade. Indecision on that huge doji candle, followed by a huge engulfing bullish candle. So you got the big blue there. All right. And we got another blue candle coming up, but I'm still waiting for my stochastic cross, because that's just how I am. That's what I do. I stick to the plan. I trust my trade. Trustyourtrade.com, right?
And that thing goes down to 1,000.
Nah, it's not going to go down to 1,000. So see, London just said if it goes down to 1,000, pretty much saying that would suck. But because we have risk parameters in place, it won't go down to 1,000. So we got our stochastic cross right here. You see, we broke that 2,000 mark. We started getting back to the 1,000s, and I went ahead and immediately hopped out of that trade at 2,000, a little bit over 2,000 for the day. Stochastic crossed up. Everything is looking beautiful. And that is just how the cookie crumbles. As you guys can see, we spent about an hour on the charts, only about 25 to 30 minutes within that trade. Finished the day at a $2,000 gain. Took a $4,600 account up to $6,600 in one position, and we're gonna keep growing this account. The goal is to get this past, obviously 10K. This was a $500 account. We now brought it past, 6,000. We're gonna bring it past 10,000. Once we get to that 10,000 mark, this is where we're gonna begin having some fun, because we will have a good enough stop position to be able to risk a little bit more than what we, typically would be risking on a smaller account. With that being said, guys, it's your boy Rico, aka RockStarrFX, here with my guest today,
London Anderson.
London Anderson, and we are out. Peace.